Joining us again, John Gizzi from Newsmax, Washington, and from Heritage Foundation, Cameron Seward. Cameron, to you first, as we're taking a look at promised executive orders. What legally can the president do in terms of dealing with the illegal immigrants in the United States?
Well, we don't know exactly what he has planned. He hasn't put anything out yet, although some speculate that he could expand the already existing Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, which he implemented in 2012, which is under the process of being renewed, or rather a lot of folks that benefited from that are renewing that. And, you know, some think that those the spouses of those people that are currently benefiting from the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program could also gain some benefit. The president could expand the program to include them, also include the parents of those under the DACA program, and also the siblings. So there's a variety of things the president, or it's rumored that the president could do. Additionally, folks that are parents of U.S. Born children that themselves are not U.S. citizens could also be given some sort of deferred deportation benefit, something along those lines. All told, with those numbers added up together, I've seen figures to the tune of 5 million benefiting from any sort of expansion of the DACA program.
Gizzi, I want to ask you, we've heard there's been a lot of criticism of Obama being too deliberative. You predicted that he wouldn't act, and you know, were you right?
At this point, yes, I am right, and I only wish that you could have been at the White House with me at Josh Earnest's final briefing before the president and his staff went to Wales for the summit yesterday. To put it simply, questions about whether he would take executive action and when dominated the proceedings. As Bill Plant of CBS said, why don't you put it all out here where the goats can get it? But it's very clear the president will not take any action before Election Day. Initially, the signals were strong that he would act pre-November, and now that's very open, and Josh Earnest said only that he will act. There is a risk with that this could very much discourage turnout of people sympathetic to his policies and to a more liberal immigration policy. One more thing, if the president does anything, there's increasing speculation he may sign deferred action for the 8 million of the 11 million who are considered workers and employed in the United States. And this is a cherished goal of the AFL-CIO. They had a special seminar on it just last week, and it would allow them to be safe from being reported to the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Agency and face deportation until some form of legislation is passed dealing with their situation.
So in essence, if they were to do that, John, that's basically amnesty. Let me bring Cameron back into the discussion here. You laid out some possibilities. John expounded upon that whole possibility for, quote, workers in the United States. Doesn't that portend even more problems, because the notion that you can set this group up in waiting for expected legislation, that just further muddies the water in terms of the immigration system, does it not, Cameron?
Well, no, that's exactly right. And if you want to see the result of the allure of amnesty, just look to what has been happening on our southern border with the increased number of folks flooding over the southern border, especially children, with the hope of gaining amnesty, rather. And the word is out that if you get here and you're able to, you know, lay low, that you'll be able to stay and eventually be allowed to hopefully stay permanently. So So that is what the result is that we see. And John was talking about the president waiting till after the election. I think he realized that he'd be putting a lot of his traditional allies that are up for tough re-elections, Democrats in red states, in a tough place, and those folks would basically be put up against the wall, and whether they would support the president or not if he should act executively. So I think that's a big reason why he will wait at least until after the election.
Cameron, about a minute and a half remains, and I want to get your take, and if there's time, Brother Gizzi may want to weigh in too. John Gizzi just mentioned the AFL-CIO, but to be candid about it, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has been right there in lockstep talking about these workers. In Washington, it seems the one group off the hill as a think tank that has stood steadfast against illegal immigration is the Heritage Foundation. Why have you guys avoided the lockstep mentality of the Washington establishment?
Well, I appreciate that, and that's what we do. We lay the conservative flag down and lay out the principled stand, and hopefully have folks flock to us and support us. But if they don't, we're still going to put it out there. And we've seen the revolving door at the White House of big business and special interests. They see that the president's going to act, and they want to get their piece of the pie, quite frankly, and seeing that as the next front in immigration, and they want to be assured to get their goodies out of it. So that's why we're seeing now the senior staff meeting with special interests and business interests and big business, et cetera.
Cameron Seward, the great-great-great-grandnephew of former Secretary of State William Seward, and the irrepressible John Gizzi. Thanks to you both. We look forward to having you back real soon on America's Forum. And moving along, thank you, gents, very much. You may have some questions. We've got a question for you. It's our poll today, and quite simply, the question is this: should the U.S. strike ISIS in Syria? To vote in that poll, all you need to do is to visit the website of our parent organization. That's newsmax.com/poll. Let us know what you think, and we're coming right back.